let's get into it. I want to see the non-dual oaks talk about this, because it's like, isn't this the point of a spiritual practice or teaching? How do we apply it to certain situations and issues that seem very trying, very debilitating, like abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, being raped, etc.? What's the teacher gonna do? If somebody is asking them about that question, they say, look, I've been abused. It can be from somebody else, or it can be self-abuse. If your mental haywiring is all combobulated, if there's all kinds of misfirings going on in your nervous system, some people, they cut themselves. Why? To try to cut that anxiety out. They gotta trying to get rid of that stress and pressure. So it can also be self-abuse. So what's the teacher gonna say? Say, look, there's really not a you to be cut or to be abused. It's like the abuser don't exist and you don't exist. Like, that's apparent. Is that what they're gonna say? Is that gonna help you? I've seen people go to the podium of when there was teachers that have satsangs and stuff like that, and they would bring certain mental health issues or deep trauma like that, and or on certain pills, taking pills that have really bad side effects, and they always leave like unsatisfied. Why? Because the teacher doesn't know how to navigate that. You have to have a certain level of experience in the human form to understand certain things. It's just how it is. It could be Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or Muhammad. If they don't have certain specific experiences with somebody or in their own life, how are they going to help somebody else that does? Now, if they're really humble, they're going to advise maybe the person go to somebody else who has a high degree of self-realization and say, look, I think you need to talk to them because they have experience with this. But I don't hear that. I just hear the same, Advaita non-dual parroting that, like, look, well, actually, they get uncomfortable. They try to use self-inquiry to navigate that. They'll say, look, but you're aware of this intense anxiety. Something wants to cut it out. Okay, can you stay as the awareness? No, you can't stay as awareness. Or if you've been raped or abused, and that trauma starts to come up, and you feel resentful at the people, as you should, that have done that, like, what are you going to do? Just realize it's a thought? Oh, this is just a sensation. Like, I'm feeling resentful toward this person that, like, violated me, maybe almost killed me, but it's just a sensation, because really he don't exist and I don't exist, and so, like, what's the problem? Yeah, that's a unfortunate, very unhealthy way. You can call that spiritual bypassing. Okay, so what do you do, though? How do you navigate that? You've been abused or you've been raped, and you're dealing with those feelings. It's affecting your relationships, especially if you're in an intimate relationship. All of a sudden, your partner becomes the abuser at some point. Doesn't mean he or she's doing it. It means that you project this trauma gets projected onto them. It's unconscious. It reminds you of the person that abused you, and now you start torturing the person that's not really doing it. How do you do that? How do you navigate that? Somebody left a comment. I don't remember which video, but I think I was making fun of the non-duals, and then she said, because I was saying something like, why do they just keep saying the same thing over and over again, but like it's not sinking in. Like, you can't bypass all the other steps and then get to the non-dual pointing and say, yeah, that was easy. I'm gonna skip all this earthbound work and go to that. So anyway, I was talking about that, and she said something like, maybe they're just encouraging them, or I think I'm saying it more nice, to not identify with the character who's been victimized or something. That was good. That was it's a helicopter. But I got my new mic. I'm glad the helicopter's doing that, because I'm gonna listen. It's at the 5-minute mark. I have a new mic, and it's supposed to buffer out some of the wind noise and stuff. So so I can make a video maybe at the ocean without the waves like superseding my voice. So good. I'm gonna check that. Damn it. What was I saying? Oh, so she brought up a good point. Yeah. Where's the line though? This is the thing. This is the balance. Somebody's been raped or abused, and then the next day they're feeling bad. They're like processing this. You know what's unfortunate? There's some countries, these villages, very tribal village. I was talking to my Indian friend about this, and man, it's heavy karma. Let's say a teenager girl, like she gets raped, right? She didn't do anything. Like she was just coming home at night, and then some crazy guys raped her. These damn village people, they like disown her after that, because they're worried about their reputation. Such low-level mentality. They don't want the other village people like, oh man, she got raped. What was she doing? Was she a prostitute? Is that why she got raped? You see, because of stupid, simple minds, they can think stuff like that. So the parents, so ego-identified, they don't want to deal with that. So they just get rid of their daughter. Imagine you go through some traumatic experience, and then you get disowned on top of that. Heavy karma. That's a heavy experience. So let's say the abuse, the incident was fresh, and then the next day you go to your non-dual teacher, who has no idea what it's like. He or she hasn't experienced abuse or rape, and then you go to them for advice because you feel bad. So then what do? What are you going to tell them? Don't be a victim? Like recognize that was just a happening, but it's like not happening now, so that shows it passes. So it really doesn't exist, does it? You think she or he in hearing that is going to say, oh, whoa, yeah, God, I feel so much lighter now. Didn't really happen. This is my point. This is why you can't like the non-dual nonsense just doesn't work. Non-dual is an outpouring of a realization that you've already had, and then you can say the authentic non-duals. It's an expression of that. You can't just skip everything and go to that. Then you sound like a parrot. So it's a balance. The person that just underwent severe trauma, you're going to have to work on that level for a little bit, because the fact is we're driving this car. Consciousness is driving a car called the human body. You can't neglect that. That has its own laws and ways of processing. Just like if I have an automobile, it has its own laws. I have to make sure there's gas and oil in it, and if something goes wrong, I can't fix it, and I got to take it to a mechanic. It's not my field. But you got to take care of it. To operate that car, you have to take care of it and follow the laws of how that automobile works if you want to drive it. Same with the consciousness. It's driving this human vehicle. You have to follow certain natural laws that exist on this human physical plane. If you think you can just bypass that and say nothing exists, I understand, and don't worry, because you're going to find out different at some point, and that will be grace helping you. Because we have to come into a semblance of balance, a full spectrum appreciation and understanding of both our spiritual nature and human nature. So someone that just experienced intense trauma, you have to work on that level. And at the same time, you have to see how much space is there to still interject the spiritual pointings also. That your spirit, and spirit can't get raped or abused. But that can't be all you say. So what percent's what? How much do you focus on the human self that that does experience trauma, and how much percent do you focus on the spirit, which is formless, that can experience trauma? Yeah, you got to be intuitive. You have to be empty and somehow tapped in, dialed in to, you could say, the infinite intelligence that's guiding everything. Not mind intelligence. Two different levels of intelligence. You have this intuitive, more universal intelligence, and then you have the low level, like logical mind. I don't even know if I can call it intelligent. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay intelligence. Call it that. So that guides you. That guides you. If you're in touch with that, the real point of a good teacher, he wants to facilitate some kind of experience or awakening of your own inner guide, your own inner teacher and intuition. Then you know how to navigate this. Then you know how much attention do I give to this human self and the feelings that come up and the reactions I have when certain people do something. Oh yeah, okay, I see. This is the conditioning, derived from the trauma I underwent. Okay, I can see that. But that which sees that, it's unaffected. That's the practice. I remember there was a girl that, this was years ago, she did an interview, or she filmed me, and I said, oh, can I have a copy of that recording? Because I was thinking about making YouTube. I thought about making YouTube videos for a long time. I told you guys, I tried to postpone it though, because I didn't want to get into it, because then it takes over your life. So I wanted to make sure I was ready to do that, to make that commitment. So anyway, I said, can I have a copy of that? She says, yeah. And then she did something, because I don't know how to edit anything. And then she put it on the computer, and I watched it. I was like, damn, that's pretty good. I liked it. She was sitting next to me. I put my hand on her shoulder as a gesture of appreciation. I was like, man, I really like that. She froze. I saw it. It was subtle. She probably thinks I didn't see it, but I saw it. I was like, uh-oh. That's trauma. That's past trauma. Something happened, you see. Reacted. It was just impulsive. She couldn't help it. It was unconscious reaction. Guy put us like, what's he gonna do? Yeah. So, what was the point of saying that? You have to work on those levels. You have to be willing to look at it. Okay, can I say this? I have a dentist, and it's kind of a fun relationship. Yeah. She also has some trauma. I've noticed this from the beginning. The reason I'm sharing this example is because I'm giving another example after I share this example of how one could go about working through this. Okay, so I noticed from the beginning, she opens the door, she stands by the door, I walk in, we're a little close because it's a small door frame, and I can sense energetically, she's like, my presence, my energy was causing this reaction. Now, is it because she's sensing maybe something in me, maybe I want to do something with her, maybe, something like that? No. Whoa, is she feeling that? Maybe, but it has nothing to do with me, because I can assure you I have no agenda, unconscious or subconscious level, to do that. So then later, we kept talking and meeting, because she's my dentist, and we got more close, and I brought something up. I don't remember. I was leaving. We usually have our conversation before I leave. We start talking about stuff. She does. I want to go, but I enjoy talking to her. So, and then it came up. It was the right time for me to say. I brought that up. She said something, and then it was a good time to bring this up. I said, I noticed. Or maybe she said it. Maybe she's like, yeah, I get a little nervous sometimes around the male energy. I said, I know. Totally. You do that around me all the time. And I said something like, let's look at this. Like, you want to get through it? She said, well, I have a therapist. I said, yeah, but let's get through it right now. What about that? Let's play it out. Let's see what happens. And then I'll say, look, you're over there. I'm going to start walking towards you. All right? And then I go like this. See, because I can't help it. I play a little bit. So I would walk toward her, and then again, yeah, she would have a reaction. I wouldn't be doing that though, but she'd have a reaction. I could see energetically something. It's that normal reaction when I got too close. All right, so the next step is, let's see what happens though. If I keep getting close, let's just see what's going to happen. Am I going to do something to you or not? Like, do you think I'm going to do something to you? No, I don't think. I know you're not going to do anything to me. Okay, so let's work through this. Let's see what happens. She didn't want to do that though. Not ready. So that's what I'm saying. You have to know everybody's at different stage. When women get raped and abused, generally speaking, their psyche, I feel, is more fragile. It can take a while. It can take a while to get over that victimness. In anybody that's been abused, or that victimness is very strong. You can't just non-dual that away. You have to really look at that. And that's an individual, personal thing. Somebody can guide you how to look, but you have to be willing to look and feel those feelings. It's like this. This will be the last thing. If you're in a relationship, romantic relationship, I've been on both sides of this, so I know how it is. I'm glad I was on both sides. A girl, so I'm with the girl. I ended up hurting her, breaking her heart. I didn't mean to. I just didn't want to have the kind of physical partnership that she wanted. I didn't want kids or anything. I didn't want it. And so she ended up getting hurt. And boy, did she blame me. Went into total victimhood. Why? Because she didn't want to feel the feelings of accepting responsibility and saying, you know what, I was with this guy though. I chose to be with him. He told me from the beginning he didn't want any of this. Didn't want to look at that. Instead, turns it around and says, but you were, what did she say? Just lying, doing this. Just tried to find all my, but I wasn't lying, but trying to find ways to blame me for being bad, because and justified that's why she was feeling bad and hurt. You see? Then I was in a relationship like that, and the girl was pretty much using me. Not for money, more about sex. She was a sex addict. I'm not saying like I'm some kind of, like whatever. She liked it, I guess. So, and also, not just that, but anyway, she was hoping I was going to give her more money. But I never did. So finally, it's like, well, what am I doing with him? You know why I didn't give it to her? Because she wanted it so damn much. And then I spent time with another girl after that, and this girl was rich, has a house in New York, has a house here, and I bought her more stuff than the girl that didn't have that. Why? Because this girl truly appreciated it. It's an energetic thing. I remember I told the old girl, I said, you know what? You might get what you want when you stop wanting it so bad. It somehow, makes me not want to do it. She didn't like hearing that. Anyway, I signed up for that relationship, and I said the first night where I knew that we were going to be together for a bit, I said, even if this ends bad for me, it's worth it. I knew it was going to end bad. What does it mean, end bad? Emotionally, like I was going to allow myself, it was almost like an experiment. I wanted to see, because we have chemistry on a deeper level, I wanted to really be vulnerable and take that in and enjoy feeling a love for her, knowing that she couldn't reciprocate that. And I was wondering, what's going to happen when this thing ends? Am I going to go through a detox? And I did. But because I was doing too much damn plant medicine, it makes you too emotional. But I mean, that was part of the deal. I had to do that to have that experience. So, here's the point. When we were done, I'd be sitting in my room pissed off at her, super resentful. But there was enough wisdom inside to know, I'm like, I can't blame her though. I was with her. I signed up for it. I even knew it wasn't going to work, and I still signed up, you dumbass. So, I understand the strong reaction to want to blame the person so that you don't have to feel those feelings, because it hurts more when you accept the responsibility of it, those feelings. Now, see, this is the work that I'm talking about when there's some trauma involved. Now, am I saying, see, I have to say this, disclaimer, am I saying if you've been abused or raped that you have to look and see, like, what did I do wrong? That, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is don't run from the feelings that come up. This is the point. This is what I'm saying. Because it's an unconscious reaction to want to sidestep all that and run away from it or blame somebody else, because that creates a diversion to not feel this stuff. You have to feel this stuff. You have to get through that. Otherwise, you're never going to come into any true awakening, because that's going to be blocking you. And then at best, you'll just parrot non-dual stuff. But there won't be any real crystallization inside. And anybody who's sensitive will feel that, will know that. So you have to do this earthbound work, while at the same time understand, in whatever level you can, that you are spirit and it doesn't have to do anything. But this has to merge. This is the highest realization. When your human self and your non-dual self, when there's some fusion with that, and both are being like appreciated, then there's real balance. Then maybe somebody will want to hang out with you. Otherwise, it's just like talking to a talking head. Nothing exists. Oh, something exists now. All right, this was a long video, wasn't it? That's cool. All right, I'm gonna make another one. I'll see you.